Fabulous. Love a bit of Man in the Mirror that we were just playing there. That was inspired by my two little ones, Bowen and Reuben, who are 5 and 7, who at the moment are obsessed with listening to Man in the Mirror in the car. So you're welcome. I'm going to hand over to the fabulous Danny Wells to start us off tonight, though. And I really wanted to ask Danny to join us so you could also really get to hear a bit of her story, as well as about this amazing brand and opportunity that we're going to share with you tonight. One of the reasons is because what this woman has created in business is nothing short of extraordinary, especially with everything that she has going on in life as well. And literally last week was representing us and the UK on the MGM Grand Arena stage in Vegas for the outstanding business that she has built with Arbonne, which we're going to share with you tonight. So, Danny, if you'd like to get us started, woo, over to you.
Thank you, Lucy. Oh my goodness, there's thousands and thousands and thousands of people in Arbonne, and Lucy is one of my ultimate favorite people ever. She's just such a wonderful person in Arbonne. I've actually been in the business for 11 years now, and Lucy was one of my first friends that wasn't in our direct team, and we found each other at the airport traveling to the global conference. It was my first time, and she literally picked me up and took me through 3 connecting flights to Vegas because I was absolutely petrified of flying. I was on my own. I didn't know what I was doing. And there's always a special place in my heart for Lucy. So it's an honor to be here. So 11 years in Arbonne for me. I'm actually celebrating that next week. I joined on July the 1st. So I'm going to take you right back to pre-Arbonne, what I was actually doing. So me and my husband had 2 children at the time, and I was working for a franchise in the UK called Specsavers Opticians, and I was one of those people that loved her job. I skipped to work, I was annoyingly happy at work, and I imagined myself getting like my 40-year, 50-year badge and staying there until retirement. But what happened was our second daughter had, unfortunately, a stroke and a brain hemorrhage, and it came completely out the blue. Literally, the rug was pulled from beneath us. 1 minute everything's fine, the next minute it's not. And I was then off work, obviously. I was with her in hospital, and we were literally trying to juggle this whirlwind. If anyone's ever experienced a family member or a friend that suddenly has medical issues, whether it's a child, a parent, a grandparent, a loved one, 1 minute everything's fine, the next minute is absolute chaos. And our life, it was just so turbulent, just dealing with the situation that our daughter might not survive. And then she did survive. And then she was then diagnosed with cerebral palsy. And we were told she won't walk, she won't talk. So we were just trying to deal with all this mentally. But on top of that, we were then trying to deal with trying to pay the bills because I wasn't working, I wasn't getting paid. So my husband, bless him, he's a tiler, so he sticks tiles on floors and walls in bathrooms and kitchens, and he has one of those jobs where if he's not sticking tiles down, he's not getting paid. So when he was in hospital, he wasn't getting paid. So he was making this really tricky decision between am I in hospital with my daughter, or am I paying the bills which needed to be paid? And this whole scenario went on for a year, and it was a horrible place to be because we, even though he did go to work, we were getting more and more and more into debt. We were getting severely into debt. And after that year, my boss said to me, look, Danny, you've had a year off. It was unpaid, but he was like, are you coming back? Like, what's going on? And I had to say to him that I would love to come back, but I can't because my daughter had seizures 3, 4 times a week. She had 4, 5, 6 different appointments in different city hospitals, and I just wasn't able. So what happened to us is we actually went on to government benefits, and I am so grateful to live in a country where when you're literally down on your knees, they do give you some sort of financial they give you money basically. However, as grateful as what I am, the money that they gave us, it didn't even cover parking at the hospitals. If anyone's ever tried to pay for parking at hospitals, like it didn't even scratch the surface. So I'm so grateful. I don't want to sound ungrateful, but it wasn't enough money. We got into so much debt. And after 2 years of this going on, I basically put a post on Facebook, basically saying something like this would have been 11 years ago, around about today, saying, oh, it's not fair. I'm a good person. I'm a hard worker. Ever since I could do like a paper round, I did a paper round and babysitting and cleaning. I've worked really hard. How have we got into the situation where we've got bailiffs knocking on the door? I hated the situation that we're in. And this girl, who I only vaguely knew a little bit from being in the Air Cadets when I was younger, sent me a message and said, I don't know if you're interested, but I've started this business called Arbonne. It's from Switzerland. It's been around for 40 years, and you can do it from your phone, from hospital. All you've got to do is use these products that you want to use and talk about them. I was like, how do I sign up? Like this just was the solution. So I joined the business. I literally signed up without even trying a product. I was thinking, oh, I hope the products are really good. Thankfully they were. And I just saw a solution to our problems. And I just my biggest goal with this business when I started was to phone tax credits and say, thank you so much for the money that you've provided us with while my daughter's been sick, but I can support our family now. Like give that money to somebody else that really does need it because I can work from my phone and create my own money now. Like, thank you. And I was able to do that within the first year of my business, and that was my biggest goal. It wasn't to have like a big sports car or designer handbag. It was just to get off tax credits initially, and like we've gone on to build and go on to have bigger goals. But basically, that was how I started and why I started. So I'll just pause for breath and let Lucy talk about how she got started.
I forgot I was on mute then. I love this business because of the lives it can change. And when you hear stories, people's stories of what Arbonne's meant to them, we haven't even told you what Arbonne is yet, but you can already tell that it's changed someone's life. And I am the second person that you're going to hear from tonight whose life Arbonne has changed. And I wasn't in a scenario that Danni was in. However, it was still not a good scenario to be in. So I'll share with you a bit about where I was in my life before Arbonne, and then what building an Arbonne business has enabled me to do. So I only have ever wanted to be a performer in my life, a dancer, in fact, more specifically. I started dancing when I was 4 years old, and there was nothing else I wanted to do in my life. So when I was 17, I'm from Cornwall, but I moved away to London to make the dream work. I went into full-time training, dancing, singing, acting from the ages of 17 to 20. And then I graduated, I moved into London, and I was in a house share with other friends who I had trained with. And we're all trying to make this dream work in the big city. Now, fast forward 5 years from there, I was 25. I had made it work. I had worked, I had toured, I had gone on international tours as well. But financially, it was a struggle. It was a real struggle. It was a bit, I was going to say feast or famine, but if I'm honest, it wasn't feast a lot of the time. A lot of the time, the contracts didn't pay me what I felt I was worth. And when a friend told me about Arbonne, someone who was in the industry, I was actually working 3 part-time jobs that I absolutely hated. And I didn't want to be devoting my time to those jobs. I wanted to be devoting my time to the thing I loved, the job, the career that I loved performing and getting into the West End and getting into musicals and all of that. So when a very successful woman in the industry told me about Arbonne, I thought, I've got no clue why you're talking to me. I'm not a product person. I wash, but that's about it. I'm not into products, I wouldn't say at all. And I know nothing about business. I am not a business-minded person. I'm in a career that pays me peanuts. That's how business-minded I am. But she wanted to tell me about this, and she was very successful. She had her own production company. I had worked for her on shows before, and I thought, if she is doing this, there is something to it because she's smart. She wouldn't be wasting her time on something that's not really going to make a difference in her life or other people's. So I had a listen. And what I realized in that moment was that this business could change everything for me because technically I was already doing it, but I wasn't getting paid on it. And actually, it was something that would allow me to own something, to have something that was mine, where I was my own boss, where I didn't have it dictated to how much I was going to earn on that contract or how much I was worth. I got to decide. Now, for me, in my industry, I am a hard worker, I'm a grafter, and I always thought it was unfair that I would be giving, the shows 189%, 200%, but the person stood next to me had a hangover, so was giving it about 49% that night, but we got paid the same. I thought, what? No, I want to get paid what I'm worth. And this was a way that I could achieve that. So fast forward many years, I've been building my Arbonne business for 14 years now, and it's changed many things. The first thing I just want to tell you about is the fact that as a person, the personal development and growth that I've gone through building an Arbonne business is second to none. It's the stuff you don't get taught at school. And because of that, my confidence was growing, my self-worth was growing, my self-esteem was growing, and it actually reflected in the career that I loved. So I started to work as a assistant choreographer on musical films like Walt Disney's Beauty and the Beast, like Universal's Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again, Maleficent 2 for Disney, all these things that were dream jobs for me. But I know without the skills that I was learning and mastering in Arbonne, the people skills, the leadership skills as well, the communication skills, all of it, there's no way that my career would have taken me in that direction. On top of that, when I started Arbonne, I couldn't afford my own home. I now can because of Arbonne. I met my husband through Arbonne. Husbands are not a guarantee, but I met mine in Vegas at the global conference. I now have two boys. Thank you, Arbonne. Like I have a family because of Arbonne. And we've now another one of my dreams is we've just been able to move home to Cornwall, where I'm from, which I always wanted to do. And I have just invested in a dance school down here because I want to give back to the performing arts, to people that want to be in that industry down here. And honestly, thank you, Arbonne. What myself and Danni have both achieved in the business is not typical, but it's absolutely what's possible. And I have never wanted to be average. And you guys are probably on the call because you don't want to be either. So we're absolutely going to share with you what Arbonne is, what the brand is, but also what's possible with this business because we're so passionate about it, which I hope you can tell already, and what it can do for people in their lives. So I'm going to start us off and I'm just going to share with you a bit of the background of Arbonne, the history of the company. Some of the guests on this call might be thinking, Arbonne, what the hell is Arbonne? I don't even know. I've never heard of Arbonne. What is it? Arbonne, amazingly, has actually been around for 45 years. And they are an absolute pioneer and a leader in clean health and wellness and beauty. When they began, it started with an incredible man, our founder, a Norwegian botanist called Petter Mork, who worked for some very prestigious skincare companies previously, but through that work discovered that the ingredients that were going into these products actually weren't necessarily good for us to be using day in, day out, putting on our skin, the largest organ of our body, day in, day out. And from there, he created Arbonne because he wanted to create a brand that was pure, that was safe, and also beneficial for the people using it. On top of that, he wanted to couple the brand with the amazing business model of network marketing to distribute the products, which we'll go into a bit later on. And it really was the most genius idea. He wanted to give ordinary people, and I hope you can tell that myself and Danni, I love Danni, I love me, but we are both ordinary people. But he wanted to give people like us the chance for an extraordinary life by using and loving this amazing brand and sharing it with people. So ultimately, they can also use cleaner, more pure, safe, beneficial products, but they also get to build something that's theirs as well. Danni, have I forgotten anything about the history of the brand? Oh, she's just muted herself. Oh, it won't let you unmute. That's so funny. Ask to unmute. I need to make you a co-host.
Do you know
Sorry.
what? I wasn't muted and I was going to sneeze. So I was like, oh, I'll just mute while I sneeze. And then I couldn't unmute myself. Oh gosh, you've explained the story about Peta absolutely beautifully. I'm going to take over and talk about the products because it is a product-driven company. And if you're a producty person, there's people in my team that have come to talk to me about Arbonne and they're like, give me every detail about the products. And I'm like, oh my goodness, let me refer you to somebody that knows everything about the product. So there are people out there that do know everything about the products, but I am not that person. So I'm going to tell you how it was for me 11 years ago. So when my friend was telling me it's a product-driven company, there's over 500 products. I actually at that time knew nothing about products. I was somebody that didn't really know about toxins, about the links with like parabens and cancers. Like I didn't know any of that. But my two children at the time had really bad eczema, and I was literally lathering products on them that were actually causing their eczema unbeknown to me, and going to the GP every few weeks to say, oh, their skin's really bad. They're up in the night, like scratching their skin till it bleeds. They're crying. And the GP would give me different steroids and lotions and potions. And sometimes it would temporarily work, but it was never a long-term solution. It would always come back. So when my friend said to me, oh, these products, they're all clean, there's no toxins in them, I was a bit like, oh, is there toxins in products then? She was like, oh my gosh, yeah. She was like, so many products, especially ones that are bought in shops, have so many nasties in, particularly mineral oil. Have you ever heard of it? I was like, no, sounds lovely. And she was like, no, it's awful. She was like, basically, when they go on the oil rigs, when they extract crude oil, they dig down, they pull out the crude oil, they're left, they use that crude oil for fuel for cars, but they're left with like a dirty scum at the top. They scrape that scum off. It's deemed not good enough for fuel. So like, picture this, it's not good enough for fuel in our cars. They can't dispose of it on the environment because it's environmentally harmful. So what they do to get rid of this waste product is they sell it for like pence for gallons and gallons and gallons of this disgusting stuff. They sell it to the skincare and cosmetics industries. And what they do with it is they water down their products. So when I was washing my poor little children, their beautiful baby skin, when I was putting them in the bath and washing them in like bubble bath and shampoo and even like hand wash at the sink, I was lathering them in this mineral oil because the bottles that 95% of that bottle was mineral oil, and then it had a couple of other ingredients in, and it's just a cheap filler basically. And so I was basically constantly causing this eczema on them. So when my friend said to me, no, Arbonne, not use mineral oil, and that's just one of thousands of ingredients that a lot of companies use that are just cheap fillers basically, and they a lot of them have long-term health effects on people. It's just not nice. Anyway, she was like, Arbonne, all clean. I was like, okay, well, that sounds nice. And she said, and basically the products are, it's almost like farm to table. So it's like going to the farm, you get your carrots and then you put them in your roast dinner, farm to table. And I was like, wow. So she said, so they don't need any artificial preservatives like shop bought products do. So shop bought products, a lot of the time they have like a 7-10 year shelf life. Like I used to go to the shelf, would like blow off the dust on the top. How long's it been there? It's disgusting. She said Arbonne products are actually all food graded. So even though I don't suggest anybody goes off and eats their Arbonne products, that they're way too good to be consuming as food. If you did, or your dog did, or your child did, like we've all been there, haven't we? Like someone's had a chomp on like a lipstick or something. They are food graded. So that's how clean and safe they are. So I was like, okay, it sounds great. So I was like, the first thing I'm going to do, because I want to be a product of the product, if I'm representing this brand, I want to be using some of the products. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get the kids' hair and body wash and see if it makes a difference to my kids' skin. Now, I like to be really honest about this. 11 years ago, when I went onto I bought my website and I went to add in the kids' hair and body wash, the kids' hair and body wash was about £20. I about fell off my chair. Now, that's probably not a lot of money to some people, but for me, I was spending £1 every week when I would do my food shopping on a kids' hair and body wash from the aisle that has all the shampoos and stuff on. So going from £1 to £20 is quite a big jump. So I said to the girl that introduced me, like, I can't spend £20 on a product. Like, I was like, are you crazy? And she said to me, what if it works and you don't then have to go to the doctors and keep getting all these prescription products? Anyone here that's got kids or any loved one really, if someone said to you, if you had a problem like I did with my kid's skin and someone said to you, look, if you spend £20, you're going to get the solution. I was like, okay. I was like, if it works, it's worth it. However, what if it doesn't? I've wasted £20. That's a lot of money. She said to me, Arbonne have a full 90-day money back guarantee. Somebody can use the whole product within 90 days. If they don't see results, they can send the empty packaging back or half-used product back and get a full refund. I had never heard of a company that believed in their products that much. They were willing to actually refund somebody up to 3 months of using their product, even if they've finished it. So I was like, if this company really believes in their products that much that they're willing to do that, I'm willing to spend £20. And either I get a solution or I get my money back. I was like, I'm in. So I got the product. I used it. Within 3 days, my kid's skin not only cleared up more than it had ever done, their skin remained clear. They're now 13 and 15, and this problem has never ever come back because I'm now using the right products. On top of that, so not only did I get a solution, that one bottle lasted me nearly a year. So when I actually started to work this out, I was spending £1 a week from the supermarket. So over the year, that's 52 bottles, £52, 52 bottles in the environment, which is not good, £52, or one bottle from Arbonne, £20. So actually, because it's not watered down and all this nasty filler, it works. And I actually found that I saved money. So these products, if you're like me and you're like, actually, this sounds really good, but I'm not really a producty person, all you need to know, which is all I needed to know, is do they actually work? Do people want them? Yes, they do. There is a massive, massive market of people out there looking for solutions, which we provide. And the kids range is just one range. Like we have skincare for all ages, we have makeup, we have nutrition, we have personal care like toothpaste, deodorant, sun creams. Like there are so many products and they do work, and people are out there desperate for a solution, not knowing that this company exists. So for me, I'm like, my job is to literally tell people there is something out there, and then you decide if you want it or not. But I'm just like the walking talking advert of I've got a solution if you want it. And most people do, especially when you tell them there's a 90-day money back guarantee, because they're like, either I get a solution or I get my money back. And it's so rare that people actually send anything back. Arbonne don't even employ somebody to take the returns in because it's so few and far between. They just have somebody that already has an existing job just take, and it's usually like a colour foundation's wrong or something. So they just toddle off from their day job and take that return in. I think it's like once every like so many months they'll get a return. It's so few and far between. The fact that they don't even employ somebody for that role because it's not necessary, it just speaks volumes for this company. So if you want to know more in detail about the product, myself or Lucy, we can get that information for you. But that was all I needed to know. And I was like, sold.
It's so true because I have a lot of people in my business, a lot of clients, a lot of team members that did spend more money on their products and they did care what they used on their skin. And actually, they needed to use the product to then see the evidence that it was worth them making the switch, because not only did they get incredible results, but Arbonne, it's a certified B Corp, it's also going to give back to the environment, it's sustainable, ingredients are clean, etc. However, I was, because of the situation I was in, which I told you before, I was honestly, please, can I buy two and get 10 free kind of a person when I shop for my personal care products. Like that's what I needed. So again, I was that person that needed a bit of convincing in order to spend more on my personal care products. However, by the end of this presentation and just this conversation about Arbonne and the information that you'll hear, I hope you not only realise that it's definitely worth making the switch to yours and your family's personal care products to Arbonne, which is a safe, clean and beneficial brand, but also, are the brands that you are currently using rewarding you, compensating you, paying you when you recommend things to other people and it results in a purchase of that brand? If they are not, if the brands that you are currently using, because let's face it, we all wash, even if we don't use many products. We wash our hands, we wear deodorant, we brush our teeth, we get in the shower, we wash our hair, etc., etc., etc. The list goes on. And then you've got the other people like me that I'll never go out without mascara, for one. But we're all using those types of products. If the brands that you are currently using and shopping for are not rewarding you and compensating you, and you recommend them to other people and that results in a purchase and you are growing their brand, then it is time to switch to a network marketing company that does reward you, and a network marketing company that is aligned with your values. And I think, oh, when you hear about Arbonne's values, you just think, oh my goodness, how can you not be? They are the highest scoring B Corp, certified B Corp in the network marketing industry, which means they have proven over a very, very lengthy and rigorous process that they put people and the planet before profit. And it's, oh, imagine that. Imagine if every company was held to those standards. Geez Louise, we would be living in a different world that was better for all of us. So when you spend your money with a brand like Arbonne, you are making a difference. Sounds dramatic. I am dramatic. I'm from musical theatre, but you are making a difference. You are. So let's talk about now then about one of our other pillars, which is the power of human connection and people. We are a people-driven business. Peter Mork, our founder, partnered our products with the business model of network marketing in order to distribute our products, rather than going to market via retail, which is what the majority of us sort of know and recognize. That's what we do. We go to the shops, we get our products off the shelves. He wanted Arbonne to be different. And there's a couple of reasons. Number one is you are buying an ultra premium product with Arbonne. But because you're not going through retail and all those middlemen having their markup, you actually are able to purchase an ultra premium product at a much lower price that is better for you. But as Danny said as well, it's going to last you way longer. A dot is a lot in Arbonne. Does anyone agree who uses Arbonne product? A dot is a lot. It goes a long, long way. Those products will serve you for longer. So that is a benefit of the network marketing distribution model, is that you're not paying all the overheads for all the middlemen. I mean, advertising and marketing is ridiculous just on its own, right? We know the brands, I'm worth it, millions upon millions upon millions on celebrity endorsement. Many of celebrities, I'm sure, will not use that brand, but they get paid a small fortune to say they do. Arbonne has never ever done that because it's completely inauthentic. The only way Arbonne has ever built their brand is through the people that are actually using the products. If you came to my house, everything, I'm telling you now, everything is Arbonne. The hand wash, the moisturizer, the shower gel in there, the baby products too. Come into my kitchen, I'll get you a green synergy elixir, your greens drink in the morning, and something for your gut health. You can have a vegan protein smoothie bowl. It is way tastier than it sounds. I'll make one for you. Like, our breakfast as a family is Arbonne. Everything on my face right now is Arbonne, but because I wouldn't put anything different on. I wouldn't put anything different on. But also because of this, when I meet you, or someone else who's an Arbonne independent consultant meets you, and they say, "Oh my gosh, you've got so much energy. What are you on?" I can genuinely say, "It's an Arbonne fizz stick, and here you go. You need them." Now, when you do that in business, it works because it's authentic, it's real. I am a real person using these products every day. And when I can see a need in someone else or something that I can help with Arbonne, and I recommend it, and then they try the products, there's a new client right there. I have built the brand. I've built my business, but I've also built the Arbonne brand, and Arbonne reward me for that. We earn commissions on those personal sales, but we also earn overrides on helping a team of people do the same. Now, and you're hearing from two people tonight who can genuinely say, hand on heart, Arbonne has changed our lives. So, yes, I share products. I am telling you now, the biggest, most transforming product that I could share with you and sell to anyone is the business opportunity. And so, because when I started Arbonne, I was in debt. When I started Arbonne, I drastically needed something to change, especially financially. And I'm so grateful every day that I was introduced to Arbonne because of that. It's changed everything. So I will always share the Arbonne opportunity with people as well, because it gives that ordinary person the ability to build something alongside everything else in their life. Would you agree that all of us are busy? Do you know anyone that's not busy? I mean, if you do, it's only like one or two people in your life that you might know that aren't busy. The rest of us, everyone's busy, okay? However, because of the Arbonne business model, you can build the business into the nooks and crannies of your life. So say, for example, and this is for easy maths, if you said to me, right, I've got 10 hours that I could give to Arbonne in a week. You don't have to build it 10 hours if you don't have 10 hours, but this is just for easy maths for me. Then I can then help someone build an Arbonne business from their phone, from home, around the kids, around the job, around the busy life, in order to build another income stream. That's the goal. Multiple income streams. For anyone that wants to create more wealth in your life, you want multiple income streams, because wealth isn't just money. All of us may also know people that have a lot of money, but do they have a lot of time to enjoy it? Many people don't. Many people want time. That's what they want. And Arbonne can give you that as well, time leverage. And I'm going to show you how. So when I started my business, age 25, just me using Arbonne, loving the products, brilliant. Now I've got to tell people. I go out there, and over time, this is just for easy maths, I find a few people that say, yes, I want to do this with you as well. Some people just want to be clients, but some people want to do this with me as well. They all have networks of people that I have never met in my life. They also have hours in their week they're going to devote to Arbonne that are not, that's not my time. I'm devoting my own time. They've got their own time. But now, as my business builds, let's just say for easy maths, there's now 10 of us devoting just 10 hours a week to building our Arbonne business. I now get to benefit from 100 hours in my week rather than just my own 10. I've basically gained time. Now, as a self-employed dancer, much like Danny's husband, I did not have the benefit of time leverage in my previous work. I was a self-employed performer. When I was performing, I got paid. The second the contract stopped, the money ended. The difference is Arbonne is a bit like royalties, right? So I do the work once, but then I get paid on that over and over and over and over again. So when a client buys, amazing. Every time they buy again in the future, I earn. Incredible. I've got leverage. When I show someone how to build this business with me, every time they recommend the products, it results in clients purchasing, or they're building their teams too that are also using Arbonne products. I get to benefit from that, but I was not there. In fact, Danny and I both will now have teams in other countries globally. That means when we go to sleep at night, our businesses turn over and we can earn money while we sleep. That was never an option for me before in that traditional employed role or self-employed role. But when you start to be able to build your own system, create your own system, your own network of consumers that can shop online 24/7, whether you're awake or you're there or not, genius. I've gone on about that, Danny, so I'm going to pass over to you again now.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you how this actually happened for me. So everything Lucy's just said, I'm now going to tell you what that happened in my business. So I started using the kids range. My kids started to have results within a few days, and I was I toddled off onto the school run, and one of the school mums basically grabbed me and said, "Oh my gosh, Danny, what's going on with her skin? Like on her face, it's changed. What have you done differently?" And I said, "Oh, bearing in mind I was brand new in Arbonne, so I said something along the lines of, oh, I've started using this brand from Switzerland called Arbonne, really great, no product, no nasties, blah blah blah, like vomited some sort of verbiage like that." And the girl was like, "Oh wow, I need to get this, how do I get it?" I said to her, "Oh, you can't buy Arbonne. No, you cannot buy Arbonne anywhere. You can only buy it if you know a representative who has their own online franchise." And she was like, "Oh," and I was like, "But don't worry, because I do. So I'll send you my link when you get home. You just go on and order the products, and they'll get delivered straight to your door. I don't deliver anything, and I don't take any money. It's all done online, bit like shopping on Amazon, but you're shopping on my website." So she was like, "Great." So I WhatsApped her my link. She went home and she ordered the kids range, and they came, and I got paid the following week. Now, this makes my husband laugh. It made him laugh so much then, and it still makes him laugh now. My first paycheck the following week was £12.50. I was elated. I was like, I'm earning money for the first time in 2 years that isn't benefits. Like, I thought it was the best thing ever. He about fell off his chair because he was like, "You started a business and you're earning £12.50." And I was like, "Just wait, it's going to grow. It's good." I was like, most businesses aren't in profit for the first year anyway. So sit down and let me do my thing. Now, that lady, she used these products on her kids, had results, went and told her neighbor. Her neighbor noticed the difference. So the neighbor was a stranger to me. And that stranger was like, "What are you using?" She said, "Oh, this mum from the school run, Arbonne, website, blah, blah, blah." Gave her my website link. And this stranger ordered on my website. I got this notification and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I've got a customer. I don't even know them. They're a stranger to me." Obviously, I reached out and said, "Thank you for your order. My name's Danny," and we became friends. But it blew my mind, like Lucy just said, that somebody I didn't even know was given my shop, my website link, and ordered products. I got paid for that. Then she told a work colleague, another stranger, who went onto my website link, did the same thing. And then that work colleague told her sister in Australia. So one night I was asleep and I had a notification on my app to say somebody in Australia has ordered products. I was like, "Oh my gosh, like this is starting to go somewhere now." So in Arbonne, there's 4 levels that you can build up to, and it's all based on turnover through your business. So the first level of promotion is a district manager, and it took me 4 months to build to the point that I was then recognized. My turnover was recognized as a district manager level. Now, for me, my first paycheck as a district manager was £500 for the month. Now, again, I know for some people that is not life-changing money, £500 a month, but for me, I was like, if this carries on for a couple of months, I'm phoning tax credits and getting off benefits because I don't need that money anymore. I can make this myself, and I could see it growing. So that was really big. That was a big thing for me. The second level in Arbonne is an area manager level. Now, I hit that from start to 6 months. So within 6 months, I was an area manager and I was earning about £2,000 a month. So you can imagine what I did. Tax credits, thank you, give that money to somebody else. The next goal after that was my husband hated being employed. He loved his job, but he hated being employed and he wanted to be able to leave and set up his own business. So I was like, that's the next goal. So the third level in Arbonne is regional vice president level. And from starting my business, it took me 11 months to hit that point. My income there was about £5,000 a month. So my husband said goodbye to his boss, walked away and set up his own dream. And I love that I was able to help that because I could financially support us while he set up his first business. And may I add, he did not earn £12.50 in his first month with his first business because you can imagine he had to buy all of his tools, his van, his equipment. Like he was at a loss for about 2 years, which is typical of any business. Like he's not at a loss now, but I was in profit in my first week. Anyway, that's by the by. So at this level as well, at level 3 region, you get given a cash bonus to lease or buy a white Mercedes. So we went from having this banger old horrible Fiesta that I think we sold for about £300, and then we had this beautiful white Mercedes on our drive, and you get to update that as well. So I think I'm on my fourth Mercedes over the last 11 years, and I love it. I love that it's an Arbonne car for me. It says Arbonne on it. I just absolutely love driving that. So then there's 4 levels in Arbonne. So it took me from start to 4 years to build to the top level in Arbonne, national vice president. My average paycheck here was about £10,000 for the month, but my highest has been £25,000 for the month. And I know people that have earned a lot more than that. This is absolutely life-changing money. What this meant for us was we left our rental. We had a 2 up, 2 down, tiny little rental. We'd been in for 12 years. We left our rental and moved into our dream home, which I live in now. It is our dream home. The first house we bought was our dream house. And not only did we get to move into it, it was everything that we wanted. If you literally had a list of everything you want in your dream house, our house was it. And then we were able to buy all the furniture we wanted. And it kind of gave us choices. It gave us, sometimes in life, there's something that we want, but we have to say, I can't have it right now. I need to wait to save up, or I can't have that. I can't have that amazing sofa. Let's go for something a little bit less. And we have to like put a lid on our goals or push them further back. When you have an abundance of money, like what Arbonne can do for somebody, you're able to say yes to the things that you want to say yes to. And on top of that, the biggest thing that it's done for us is we decided to expand our family. We had our 2 daughters that we absolutely loved, but we were capped on having more children because we couldn't afford it, basically. Children are expensive. After 10 years, so our second daughter then was 10 years old, we were in a position because of Arbonne to say, do you know what? Shall we go for 2 more? And now we have 4 children, and it's because of this business. And I look at my younger 2 children who are 1 and 2. I'm watching them on the baby monitors now. They're asleep while I'm working doing this. And I look at them and think, if I hadn't have said yes to this business 11 years ago, you wouldn't be here. And that is the most life-changing thing. I'm not saying that you want more children. I'm not saying that at all. Maybe you do, but it's not about that. It's about being able to say yes to the things that you want to say yes to. Before Arbonne, everything was a no, not now. When we have time, when we have money. But what this business does, it enables an ordinary person, you might not consider yourself ordinary, but it enables any kind of person, ordinary or extraordinary, to be able to put their energy and effort into something so simple that helps so many people and create time and money. And that is exactly what I have. My 2 little children, I get to wake up, take them to a baby group every single day. When I had my first 2 children, we could only afford 1 baby group a week, and it was 50p, and even that was a struggle. Now we go to all the baby groups, and they're flipping expensive. The franchise ones are like, I'm talking like 15, 16 pounds for a 45-minute session, and I take 2 children. So now we go to all the things we want to do because of this business. So if you're sat here and you're thinking, I just want something more, whether it's more time, more money, to go to the expensive baby groups, to be able to, if your parent or your grandparent rings you and says, I've got a hospital appointment tomorrow, can you take me? Absolutely, I can take you. If you want more of something, and you've searched and you can't find something that gives you it, it's this. Like, it is this. And this is what I tell people. I'm like, I didn't grow up thinking, oh, one day I would love to be an Arbonne consultant. It was the solution to what I wanted. And it is literally every day I work a little bit on my business because it is the solution to everything that I want. And I've never, ever in 11 years come across something that even scratches the surface close to this business because it gives you time, it gives you money, and it gives you passion and purpose. Lucy and I are so passionate about this business because it literally fills us up with endorphins. And every day I have like adrenaline and endorphin rush because of this business. It is the most amazing, amazing thing you could ever be involved with. So that is the compensation plan. I'm going to hand over to Lucy. Thank you so much for listening to how passionate I get about this business. I just think everyone should just sign up right now because it'll be the best decision that you ever make.
I wholly and categorically agree. I do firmly believe everyone should have a network marketing business because in this day, it absolutely makes sense. You see people on social media all the time recommending things that they use, places where they've been to, a book that they love. We all do it every single day. It is absolutely time for you to get paid on it. And like I said before, all you have to do is align yourself with a brand that has similar values to you. And also I would also just put on top of that like an amazing leadership group of leaders. And I'm telling you now, the thing that we have in Arbonne, because we are a legacy brand, we've been around for 45 years, we are led by the most incredible team of leaders. Anyone that would be joining Danny Wells's team tonight, all I can say is well freaking done. You're so fortunate, you're so lucky to be led by such a heart-led leader. Does she sound like the kind of boss that you'd have in a normal job? Absolutely freaking not. But that's the difference. That's the difference. In Arbonne, you've not bought yourself another job and another boss. You will be a part of the most positive, uplifting community of heart-led leaders who absolutely want the best for you because they've experienced how life-changing this can be simply because you switched your shampoo. Like, let's not pretend it's anything bigger. Arbonne is not hard. We simply changed the brand of personal care products that we use, and then we went out there and we did that word of mouth recommendation. That is it. That is it. And actually, someone said to me the other day, and you've heard Danny's story, like, we've heard what's hard. That there are certain parts of that story that are hard, that were so extremely hard. You've probably all been through hard things. This is not hard. Yes, it requires getting out of your comfort zone. If you've not done something like this before, if you haven't done a network marketing business before, if you've got any fears or doubt right now about, oh, can I do it? The answer is yes, absolutely you can, if you're willing to learn. We provide that coaching, we provide that education. You get free training every month, every single week, in fact. You absolutely can. It just depends if you're willing to put in the work and the effort over time. And there is then a point when this business goes from your head to your heart, when you are then, like you've heard in Danny, so passionate to share this with other people and to help them like this business has helped us. So let me just ask you in closing, where would you like to be in 5 years' time? Human beings are progress-driven people. We are. There's always places we'd like to go, or things that we'd like to see in our lives, or things you'd like to do for someone. Where would you like to be in 5 years? What do you see in your life? And where do you see yourself in 5 years if nothing changes, especially financially? And just think about it for a moment. Insanity is actually expecting something to change when you change nothing. You've got to change something, do something different. But fortunately, Arbonne is something that is an add-on to your life. It's not a this or that. You don't have to give up anything and everything that you do. It's an add-on in your life. You're just switching where you buy those incredible products that you're already buying for yourself and your family. And you're sharing those with other people, and you're showing other people how they can do the same in order to create and build something extraordinary over time. So if you've liked anything that you've heard, if there's any part of you that's like, can I, could I, should I, would I, any part of you that's questioning it, just get back in touch with the person that recommended you jump on tonight. And we are absolutely here to help and answer any and every question that you have. Thank you so much for jumping on, everyone. Thank you so much, Danny. It means so much to hear your story. Much love.
Thank you,
Hopefully see you all
Lucy.
very soon. Bye.
Bye.